Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about one of my favorite decks out there, and that deck is Eosmon. Now, based on how long ago you started watching my YouTube videos, you may or may not know that Eosmon was my first ever Digimon deck that I built, and that was the first deck that I've ever really played outside the tutorial decks. So it was my first in person deck. I used Eosmon, so it was like, oh yeah, my first ever step into Digimon. So it has a bunch of sentimental value to me. I did play BT6 based Eosmon in a BT7 format, so that was pretty rough. Uh, because the level 4 Eosmon just plays tamers for free for you, but also gives your opponent a free tamer. And in a hybrid format, that's pretty rough. Um, but yeah, I wanted to get back into building Eosmon. I'm experimenting with 4 different colors right now. So I'm experimenting with Red Eosmon, Purple Eosmon, Green Eosmon, and Black Eosmon. Now I did make a deck profile for Blue Eosmon like a very long time ago. It's very outdated now. I do not recommend that you play that deck, but I was thinking and I was examining the core of Eosmon, and I figured out why Green Eosmon was so good back then. It's not as good now, but I wanted to talk before going into my Red Eosmon deck profile video. I want to talk about Green Eosmon and just the history around Eosmon, like what it is, what it does. So just like an overview of what Eosmon does. So in earlier iterations of Eosmon, then you run Wormmon and you run Morphomon. Like these cards are pretty good for Eosmon. They have certain functions that they do. So I was examining a bunch of different decks around Eosmon. I looked on Digimon Meta. I looked on YouTube, and everything came towards card draw. So the rookies that you would play in a Green Eosmon build are Wormmon, Morphomon, and maybe like a splash four copies of Argomon or Goblimon, just like a 2 cost playset, a 2 cost Digimon level 3 playset. But the main rookies that you want to Digivolve into and raising are Wormmon and Morphomon. So before I actually go and talk about my Red Eosmon deck that I am actually surprised did pretty well today at locals, I'm going to talk about Green Eosmon. So I was examining the core. Wormmon, Morphomon are basically the core of Green Eosmon decks. So they Digivolve off of your Digi-Egg for 0. Wormmon on deletion, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 level 4 or level 5 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's like thinking, what actually makes Wormmon good in Eosmon decks? And it's the on deletion effect, where you basically search top 3 cards, add 1 level 4 or level 5 Digimon card to your hand. Now this card has a chance of whiffing. Like you are playing a bunch of Eosmons, but you can't search for your level 6 Eosmons in this way. You can't search for any of your tamer cards, any of your option cards. So this is good for getting Eosmon or Kabuterimon level 4. But yeah, you can't really search like every single card in your deck, which is like a weird way of just saying it's worse than drawing. So this gives you more cards in your hand, but the searching is limited. So you have a chance of getting 1+1 card advantage with this card. Now this Morphomon is essentially like the Wormmon, but upgraded and more specific to Eosmon builds. So Morphomon, on deletion, reveal top 5 cards of your deck. So you reveal 2 more cards than the Wormmon. Add 1 Manoa Bellucci and 1 Digimon card with Eosmon and its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in order. So this Morphomon is able to get you your level 6 Eosmon. If you reveal level 6 Eosmon with this Wormmon, then you cannot add it to your hand, which is like a bummer. But this Morphomon is able to get your level 4 Eosmons, or your level 5 Eosmons, or your level 6 Eosmons, and 1 Manoa Bellucci. So you are able to reveal more cards off the top of your deck, so you increase the chances that you can find targets. And also, instead of getting +1 card advantage, it offers the possibility of even getting +2 card advantage. So I was thinking about this. This is essentially in this deck. I have looked at many deck profiles, but basically you get your Digi-Egg, Digivolve into Wormmon or Morphomon next turn, raise out, swing. You want them to keep swinging very early, as often as you can. So just keep swinging, always keep swinging with your rookies. And then on deletion, possibly get 1 card advantage. On deletion, possibly get 2 card advantage. Now, it is good. It was really good in BT6 format, because you would play Wormmon, or you would Digivolve off into Wormmon or Digivolve into Morphomon, possibly get 1 or 2 card advantage. But I was actually thinking about it. Why would I play Morphomon and Wormmon for possibly getting 1 or 2 card advantage when there is a better engine out there for getting card advantage? And you've already seen like this card just peeking out, and it is the Gigimon engine. So that's like a very, very brief overview of the Green Eosmon engine, but let's go into my red deck. So Gigimon is a better draw engine than the Morphomon or Wormmon. They possibly give you card advantage, but with the Gigimon, the card advantage is guaranteed. So you don't have to be deleted to get the draw. With Promo Gilmon, you can draw 1 from Promo Gilmon, 1 from Gigimon. With any other Digimon with Gilmon in their name, then you can just automatically draw 1. So that just makes it a lot better than the Wormmon and Morphomon. Like, these served so then you can just keep replenishing Eosmons into your hand. But now, with EX-2 Gigimon, the Gilmon base is just a lot better. I'm going to put this aside. So, now to get into my red Eosmon deck profile video, I'm running a full playset of Gigimon. Gigimon is the only Digi-Egg that you need. Inheritable when attacking, once per turn. If the Digimon has Gilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in its name, draw 1. So already you can see that the Gilmon line just easily replaces the Morphomon and the Wormmon. Like, it's not necessary for this deck. So I actually placed second in a tournament of 16. Not that placement matters, but I'm going to talk about my matchups right after I finish going through this deck profile video. Okay. And then I'm also running a playset of Promo Gilmon. You just have to run Promo Gilmon. So this was actually from my DC1 event. I played in 2 DC1 events, so this is just one of my playsets. But yeah, this is just an art, but this is the Promo Gilmon. When attacking, draw 1. So, when you have a Gigimon raising, you go into Gilmon, promote Gilmon out next turn, swing at your opponent, then you can draw 1, so you just draw 2. So you can see how it's already much better than Morphomon, possibly searching for 2 eligible targets versus a guaranteed draw 2. So the Gilmon line just easily replaces the Morphomon and Wormmon engine from back then. And then I'm running a full playset of EX-3 Gilmon. Like, it seems like such a weird inclusion, but this card is actually very good. Digivolves 1 on top of a level 2 purple, but since I'm only playing Gigimons, it Digivolves 0 from Gigimon, so there's no disadvantage to playing this card. Sometimes it can be awkward to just on play it for 4, but sometimes it's good because you can memory choke your opponent. So the 4 play cost sometimes is able to help you in manipulating the memory. It's really good. But basically, I just want to Digivolve off into Gigimon. This is probably the next best Gilmon available, outside of Promo Gilmon, but this is like the second best Gilmon that you want to run. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, both players trash the top 2 cards of their deck. So you have like a pseudo Elecmon on deletion and a pseudo Impmon on deletion. So mainly, there is a chance for you to also get rid of one of your opponent's low DP rookies, which is really good. But you also have a chance of milling yourself, which is really good because you also want to fill your trash with Eosmons. So it's a win-win. Either you get rid of one of their low DP Digimon, or you mill, and then you get more Eosmons in your trash. So really good on both ends. Digivolve for 0 off of Gigimon. Either delete one of your opponent's rookies that's low DP, or you mill yourself. And then it doesn't really matter either way because you still get to draw 1 from Gigimon. So a full playset of those. Now, I did not really have Gilmon X antibody. I have 1 from a pre-release pack. I didn't attend any BT9 pre-release events, but my local game store ran out of tournament prizing, and for some reason or other, they were not able to run the BT9 pre-release. Like, the shipment was really delayed, so they did not get the BT9 boxes in, but they got the promo packs. So they're like, okay, we're not running pre-release, but we're just using these pre-release packs as prize support for our future tournaments. And I ended up getting a Gilmon X from one of my BT9 pre-release promo packs. Pre-release packs. So I got 1. And I actually just got these 2 today. I did get a 4th one, but not until after the tournament had already started. So in my deck, I'm only playing 3 Gilmon X antibodies. Honestly, the when Digivolving effect is not that great. When Digivolving Digivolves for 0 from Gilmon. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So it is just like half of the Skillmon's when on deletion effect. What I mainly have this card in for is that the Gigimon doesn't really care if it's Gilmon exactly, but just that has Gilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in its name. Focus, camera. Focus. Okay. So as long as it has in its name, then you draw 1. So this is basically your 9th, 10th, and 11th copy of a Gilmon. So then you are able to get more Gilmons in your deck, so you can Digivolve off of Gigimon and then swing, and then get that when attacking effect to draw 1. So this is basically just more copies of Gilmon, so then you can get that when attacking effect. What I have also noticed is that it's really good. If you run out of plays to do, you can just Digivolve off of your Gilmons into Gilmon X antibody, possibly get a good card off of the Digivolution bonus draw. So it is also there for that, but mainly this is for you to get more Gilmons, so then you can just keep getting a steady supply of Gilmons, so you can Digivolve off of Gigimon and then get the when attacking draw bonus. Okay, and then this is really good. You can Digivolve off of your Gilmons. Most of the time, you're going to Digivolve off of Gigimon, but this is the 3rd best Gilmon that is currently available because, it doesn't have any effects that when you attack or when it's deleted, but it does have that ability to Digivolve off of your other Gilmons, so possibly helping you in a tricky situation where you have nothing good in your hand to play. or you want something better to play, or it can just go right on to Gigimon, and then it counts as having Gilmon in its name, so you also get that. The on deletion, on Digivolve, sometimes comes in handy, but it's not really reliable. I'm playing 3 Solarmons. Now, at first, I was thinking about playing 4 Gilmon X antibodies, but I was like, you know what? I can run 4 Gilmon X antibodies and 2 Solarmons, or I can just run 3 and 3. I still haven't played this deck enough to know which one I prefer, but right now, in the short term of just today's tournament, I prefer the 3 and 3 split. Like, I wanted a 4th copy of Gilmon X Antibody. I did not get in time. I was like, you know what? 3 and 3 still works. Really good card for you to end your turn. There's nothing better to do. Play Solarmon. Your opponent cannot Def X you, which is a big problem with this deck because you are swarming the field with a bunch of Eosmons and a bunch of Tamers. So Solarmon can just come in handy. It just feels really good to drop some Solarmons onto the field, stop a possible Def X from coming. Like, you don't know if your opponent has Def X, but it just feels really good to just end the turn by playing 1 or 2 Solarmons. Especially when it's like late game and you're like, okay, I need to protect my board, or I'm going to be severely disadvantaged. So just play Solarmons, because I also noticed that this deck, in the later parts of the game, you can just rookie rush your opponent. So it doesn't honestly hurt to just drop 1 or 2 Solarmons onto the field, because 1, you can stop your opponent's Def Xmon from just de-digivolving your Eosmons or popping your other rookies. But you can also just Solarmon, stop the Def Xmon from coming. Solarmon, just a safeguard, just in case they get rid of 1, then you have 2. And then, like, oh yeah, cool, they only have 2 securities left from you rushing them earlier. So swing, Eosmon swing for game. So it honestly does not hurt the deck to run Solarmon. Okay. Like, you don't want to run a full 4 playset, because it really hurts if you don't have a Gilmon early game, and then you're like, oh man, I have the Solarmon, but I don't have a Gilmon, so you just have to basically Digivolve into the Gigimon. Like you're not forced to, but like you basically have to. So you Digivolve into the Gigimon, you bring it out, you swing into your opponent's security, but you don't get the draw 1. So 3 is good. I would not go more than 3. Okay, now the main Digimon of the deck. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Eosmons. So I think that 14 is a pretty good number. So Eosmon, you can include up to 50 copies of cards with this card's card number in your deck. When attacking effect, you may play a 1 level 5 or lower Eosmon from your hand without paying its memory cost. So, in combination with the Gilmon line just drawing you a bunch of cards, they basically replace Morphomon and Wormmon, but better. So you can just play this, swing with the Gilmon, get more Eosmons into your hand, and then next turn swing, play Eosmon. Now you have 2 Eosmons, and then you just keep replenishing your hand with your many Gilmons that attack to give you more Eosmons in your hand. So it's a pretty good deck. I am not playing the level 4 Eosmon. Like, this has a home in green decks, purple decks, black decks, but it does not have a home in this red Eosmon deck. Like, you can't Digivolve off of anything into it, so you basically always have to hard play this for 4. You can play 1 White Tamer card with 4 or less play costs, but then your opponent gets to play a Tamer too, so it's not worth it to run. And after I decided not to run it at all, then I removed a bunch of the White Tamers that was in my previous version of this deck. I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing that level 4 Eosmon, so it doesn't really matter what color my tamers are. So remove the white tamers aside from Manoa Bellucci, and I added in a surprise tamer that we will get to in a second. So I'm running a full playset of this BT6 super rare level 6 Eosmon. So this Eosmon is really good. So you want to digivolve off of your level 5 Eosmon for a memory cost, a digivolve cost of 5. When digivolving for each tamer in play, both yours and your opponent's, you may place one level 5 or lower Eosmon from your trash at the top of this Digimon's Digivolution cards in any order. So you are swarming the field with tamers. Your opponent also probably has tamers in play, but for yours and their tamer in play, then you can place one Eosmon for each tamer, up to one Digimon for each tamer. Okay, so that's pretty good, but your turn? Oh, sorry. It's really good because if you place 2 or more cards with this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So this just becomes a Gaia Force. You digivolve off of your level 5 Eosmon into this Eosmon, and as long as there are 2 or more tamers on the field, as long as there are 2 or more level 5 or lower Eosmons in your trash, then this just becomes a Gaia Force. And then on digivolve, you delete something that your opponent has. Doesn't matter if it's a Defexmon, doesn't matter if it's a level 6, doesn't matter if it has X antibody in its traits, nothing else matters. This just becomes a Gaia Force. No restrictions attached. You do have the condition of having to place 2 or more Eosmons under it by its effect, but it doesn't really care the level of the Digimon you're deleting, the traits of the Digimon you're deleting. Like, it's just a really good Gaia Force. Your turn effect. For every 3 Digivolution cards this Digimon has, it gains Security Attack +1. So, if your stack is big enough, if you digivolved off of one of your Eosmon level 5s and there were at least 2 tamers in play, then you're going to get at least Security Attack +1, possibly more if there are more tamers in play and if you have more Eosmons in your trash. Okay, time for the tamers. I'm playing a full playset of Manoa Bellucci. Like, if you are wondering why I only have 2 pre-release ones, I ordered 2 more in the mail like a while ago, but they never came. I also ordered Cutting Edge, but they also never came. So I'm still waiting on the other pre-release Manoas. But Manoa Bellucci, really good. She's a memory setter, so start of your turn, you're going to start your turn with at least 3 memory. Your turn effect. When you play an Eosmon, you may spend this tamer to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 tamer card or 1 Digimon card with Eosmon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So, it doesn't really care if you play the Eosmon from hand or from effect. So, if you have level 5 Eosmon out, you have a level 5 Eosmon in your hand, you have a Manoa Bellucci on the field, you swing at your opponent. When attacking, you play level 5 Eosmon from your hand. On play of Eosmon, you can then suspend Manoa Bellucci, reveal top 3 cards, and then add an Eosmon or a tamer to your hand. So it's really good. But I did not think that this effect would actually matter this much in this format, but it seriously matters a bunch in this format. Opponent's turn, while you have an Eosmon in play, your opponent's tamers don't unsuspend during your unsuspend phase. So it just makes Cool Boy not do what Cool Boy is designed to do. That is to gain 1 memory and draw 1 card when your opponent digivolves into the same level Digimon. Like, they can use it 1 time, which, I mean, is honestly what they only need to use it once, pretty much. But it also stops Nokias. It stops basically any tamer that suspends, usually to give you memory. It just stops it all. It did come in clutch during my game against SecCon, which I will go over matchups in a second, but this is actually a pretty good tamer. So on top of the Gilmon engine, you are also using the Manoa Bellucci engine, so then you can just keep constantly refreshing your hand with Eosmons. Now, I am playing 4 copies of Matt Ishida. So, again, I did remove my white tamers. They did not really serve a purpose in this deck because I'm not playing the level 4 Eosmons. So I can't really play tamers for free anyways. So I'm not running Hina, I'm not running Digimon Emperor, I'm not running Analog Youth. I'm just running 4 Matt Ishidas. And this Matt Ishida puts in a lot of work, I can tell you. It's only 2 costs to play, so it's really cheap. Just play it. You feel comfortable playing it most of the time. Sometimes I play like 2 in a turn. I feel good about it because if I just bring my rookie out of raising, my 3000 DP rookie or my 2000 DP rookie, swing into security, it will probably be deleted. Now, Matt Ishida, your turn effect. When one of your Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. So basically, since you are playing a swarm/rush type deck, you want to swing every turn. Your rookies swing every turn that they're able to. Your Eosmons swing every turn that they're able to. The rookies have low DP. The Eosmon have low DP for level 5. So most of the time, you can swing, gain 1 memory. So it's just really good. So this card does actually come in handy. If you have 2 Matt Ishidas, you have a Manoa Bellucci, you have a level 5 Eosmon out, you just bring your rookie out of raising, you swing, your rookie's deleted, suspend the 2 Matt Ishidas, go from 3 memory that Manoa Bellucci set you to 5 memory. Now, you can digivolve your level 5 Eosmon into a level 6 Eosmon for 5 memory. Activate its effect, and then you just get a surprising +1 security, +2 security attacks out of nowhere, a Gaia Force out of nowhere. So the Matt Ishida is actually very good. Like, I had considered running Hina. Hina is good if you are playing the level 4 Eosmon. I'm choosing not to. But the Matt Ishida basically does what Hina does. Hina gives you 1 memory at the start of your turn if your opponent has a Digimon out. Matt Ishida gives you a memory when one of your Digimon is deleted, which is basically every turn. So it's really good. Next, I am playing... Let me think. Whoops. I'm playing 3 Crimson Blaze. Now, I actually was still editing this deck up to right before leaving for the tournament. During my solitaire playtesting, where I just pretend to play against an opponent, but I'm actually playing against myself, I was thinking, Gaia Force is not that good, because most of the time, you don't want to use it right at the start of your turn. Like, Gaia Force, you want to be able to bring out your rookie, swing with your rookie, swing with Eosmon. Your rookie's probably going to be deleted, and your rookie is your only red source. So your Digi-Egg and your rookie are the only red sources that you have. So Gaia Force seems really impractical to use, because after your rookie's deleted, you no longer can play Gaia Force. So I'm thinking Crimson Blaze is better, because it costs 6. But reduce the memory cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each Digimon your opponent has in play. So most of the time, 99% of the time, you're going to use this when it's able to be played for 5 or less memory. Like 99% of the time, you're at most playing this for 5 memory, possibly 4 memory. But it does come in handy. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon of 6000 DP or less. Your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of their next turn. So it does shut down a bunch of decks. It slows down security control. It slows down Ragnalordmon. There are a bunch of level 4 Digimon that are 6000 DP or less. I think all level 4s, but I could be wrong. But it basically board wipes level 4s and lower. And potentially for less than 6 memory. Definitely for less than 6 memory. But most of the time you're playing this for 5 memory or less, so it's a really good card. I'm playing 2 Fly Bullets, because if we go back to what I said about Gaia Force is really impractical. Sometimes you just want to delete a Digimon out, but you want to swing with your rookies as much as possible. I'm not going to keep my I'm not going to keep my rookie unsuspended, not attack for that turn, just so that I can play Gaia Force. I want to swing with my rookie as much as I can, and I can still play Fly Bullet because I have the Matashitas in play, which is good because I'm playing a full playstyle 4. It just does so much for this deck. It gives you memory when your Digimon's deleted. It allows you to play Fly Bullet. So it's really good. Main effect, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. So interesting trivia about this card. I actually unboxed premium deck set, one premium deck set the other day, and I was recording myself unboxing it, but I never uploaded that video because while I was filming, I accidentally hit a key on my keyboard and it just stopped the recording. And I did not realize I stopped the recording until after I finished, but I am not recording that again. But basically, I opened a premium deck set. I got 2 Alt Art Fly Bullets, so I'm using that in this deck. Next option, X Program. Now, this seems kind of like a meme card. I kind of put this card in the deck as a meme, but it has come in handy. So this is like a nerfed down version of Gaia Force. You don't really care about ignoring its color cost because you have Manoa Bellucci's, you have Eosmons, so you will often have a white source in play, so you don't need to ignore its color requirements. But for 8 cost, delete 1 Digimon without X antibody in its traits. Most Digimon do not have X antibody in their traits. This card did actually brick it. I was not able to use this card against Greymon X antibody, so that was a really bad matchup for me. But you can delete almost every Digimon with this card, so it's almost like a Gaia Force. But if there are 3 or more Digimon in play, delete all Digimon without X antibody in their traits instead. So it's actually pretty fun. When my opponent had 3 Digimon out, I just played this card, and then I just board wiped all 3 of their Digimon. It was a really fun card. I'm playing 2 Miss Memory Boost. So Miss Memory Boost, you are able to play this reliably well, because in addition to the Matashitas, if you start the game with EX-3 Gilmon, it counts as purple and red, so you are able to just play Miss Memory Boost turn 1 if you feel like, oh yeah, I don't really want to play anything else, play Miss Memory Boost. Like, you can do that. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck and draw 1. Delay effect, gain 2 memory. So it's good for getting more Eosmons in your trash, but again, starting your turn or getting to 5 memory on your turn is pretty big for this deck. As the aforementioned combo, you can just hard play level 5 Eosmon for 5. You go to 0, it's still your turn. And then you Digivolve into this Eosmon, and then you delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So getting to 5 memory is surprisingly very useful in this deck. Hence why I'm playing Miss Memory Boost. Okay, last card. It's a Schwartz Larsatz. Now in BT7 format, Schwartz was really, really good. Your opponent was digivolving off of Tamers every which way. So, there were a bunch of Digimon in play. They would play a bunch of rookies out. So, Schwartz was really good in BT7. Not that great in this format. So for each Digimon of hybrid in its traits and each Tamer you have in play, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. It's not great. In this format, people tend to go really high with their stacks. So instead of having a level 3, a level 4, a level 3, a level 4 out, they tend to have like one level 6 out and then maybe like one rookie out. So it's not great. Um, it's not great most of the time. It might come in handy, so I'm just splashing it in at one. But if this is checked in security, it's going to be really brutal against Garurumon, for example. But it's not as great, this format, in my opinion, as just using Crimson Blaze. This thing just stops a bunch of decks. It slows them down. There are really a bunch of times when your opponent has several level 4s or lower Digimon out. Like if they're going wide instead of building one big stack, then they will probably go level 3, level 4, level 3, level 4. This can come in handy to deleting their Digimon. Fly Bullet is like God Force, but then also more reliable in this deck just because you have a purple source in play more often when you want to actually delete something. X Program, it's kind of memey, but it can still board wipe, which is actually useful. But, Fly Bullet, delete level 6 or less, so it's not as unrestrictive as God Force. X Program, delete a Digimon without X antibody, or delete everything without X antibody. But this actually stopped me from being able to delete something during my last match today. Miss Memory Boost, pretty good for sending you to 5. Good for milling your Eosmons into the trash. Schwartz Larsats, it's like, okay, I can see it sometimes coming in handy, but, it's not reliable enough to run a bunch of. I'm just running one, just so, because of my card draws, I can just get this into my hand, keep it for when it's necessary, and then play it when it's like the better option to play available. But it's not good enough for me to run much more. But yeah. So let's go into the gameplay. So you've already seen the Gilmon lines. So the Gilmon line. So 4, 4, 3. These cards just basically help you in getting your card draw. So they are pretty good at supplying your hand with Eosmons. Solarmon, good for stopping Defexmon because of your many, many Tamers that you will play, or your many, many Eosmons that you will play. Eosmon, the main Digimon of this deck. Attack. When attacking, play a level 5 or lower Eosmon for free. Eosmon level 6. Pretty good boss Digimon. When Digivolving, you can just put Eosmons under it. If you put 2 or more by this effect, delete something. So it's really good removal. It can surprisingly give you a bunch of security checks out of nowhere. So your opponent may not be expecting that, but the God Force effect is also really, really good. Manoa Bellucci's set you to 3, get you more Tamers from your deck or more Eosmons from your deck. While you have an Eosmon in play, stops your opponent's Tamers from unsuspending. Matt Ashita, surprisingly clutch Tamer, 2 costs. You can just play this basically whenever and you feel comfortable with it. You can play this turn 1. You can Digivolve for 0 into your Raising, put your opponent to 2 because of Matt. It's a card that's so low cost that you feel comfortable playing it most of the time whenever you get the Matt Ashita, because it costs 2 to play, but you're going to get a refund of 1 memory most of the times that you're attacking. Crimson Blaze, pretty good removal. It doesn't really cost 6. Like most of the time, it's going to cost less than 6, honestly speaking. Just like how Defexmon is like 20 play costs, but you're basically never playing it for 20. Like you could, technically, but basically never playing it for 20. This card, you are 99% of the time playing it for 5 or less memory. So you can delete 6000 DP Digimon that your opponent have in play. So just board wipe all their 6000 DP or less. Stop them from playing Magna Angimon from Flame Hellscythe. Stop them from just playing Bloom Lordmon with their effects. Like it just it just helps a lot. Even if they only have one 6000 DP Digimon in play, I find myself, you know what, it's worth it. Just play this for 5, delete their 6000 DP blocker Guardromon, and then okay, it's like good. Remove a Digimon for 5 seems like an odd number, but it actually helps. Just getting rid of like their blockers, it helps. Even if you only reduce it by 1 play cost, playing this for 5 to get rid of a blocker is huge. Okay, Fly Bullet, more reliable for consistency than Gaia Force. You most of the time will want to play this after you have attacked with your Digimon. So more likely than having a red source out, you will have a purple source out from Matsushita. So Fly Bullet is just better, in my opinion. X Program, delete any Digimon without X antibioting their traits, or if there are 3 or more Digimon, board wipe everything without X antibioting their traits. This memory boost, so it does help to mill your Eosmons into your trash, but this card is really great for being able to get you to 5 memory when you need to hard play level 5 Eosmon, and then digivolve to level 6 Eosmon. Like if you don't have a rookie that is available to crash, or if your rookie fails to crash, or your extra Eosmon fails to crash, you can just pop this, go up to 5, play an Eosmon for 5, digivolve for 5 into level 6 Eosmon, and then Gaia Force something, and then it just comes in with a bunch of security checks. Schwartz Larsatz, again, I'm playing this at 1. It's not that great in this format versus other option cards, but it can come in handy. So just based on your card draw, I'm like, okay, I'm going to splash this in. It might come in handy, it might not, but just being able to draw so many cards, I might have this in my hand when it does actually come in handy. Like, not often, but because you are drawing so many cards, this card can come in handy sometimes. So that is my Eosmon deck profile video. Now I'm going to talk about cards that I have considered playing. I don't think this is the box. This is the box, I think. It's in one of these boxes. No, I took them out. Okay, never mind. So if you want to, then you can remove a Solarmon, and then you can play a Gilmon X antibody, a 4th copy. So 4 Gilmon X antibodies, 2 Solarmons. Right now, I'm on the fence of what I like better. Because it would feel horrible to just start your turn with only a Solarmon as your rookie in hand, and then digivolve into Gigimon, into Solarmon. And then when you promote it out and then you attack, you don't get the card draw. But it does stop Def Xmon from slowing you down. So that's also pretty good. So I'm on the fence whether I want to keep it at 3-3 or 4-2. But yeah, I had considered that. I had considered playing Gaia Force. So again, I was like playing solitaire basically against myself. And most of the time I want to delete something after I get the chance to attack. If I play this right away, then I just can't attack with my Digimon. And if I wait until after I attack with my Digimon, most likely I can't play the Gaia Force because my rookie's no longer on the field. So Fly Bullet, just replace Gaia Force after some playtesting. It's more restrictive in what you can delete, but most of the time you will meet the purple color requirement, so it's just easier to play. I had considered Hina Kurihara. So basically, if your opponent has a Digimon in play, start of your turn, she's a Hammer Spark. Like, you get that 1 extra memory. There are tamers out there that possibly give you 2 memory under certain conditions, or 1 under one condition, 1 under another condition. But because there are conditions attached, I'm like, you know what? Hina's pretty good. She is almost a guaranteed Hammer Spark. So she does technically have a condition, but this condition is super easy to be met. As long as your opponent has a Digimon in play, you gain 1 memory, which is like most of the time your opponent will have a Digimon out. But after thinking about it, I don't need to play the white tamers. I'm not playing Eosmon level 4 in this red build, so I don't really need Hina Kurihara. So just taking her out, and then I took out my analog youths. So it's good that on play you can reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand, trash the rest. So you are able to get a small search in. And then you can also mill your Eosmons, but it's not good because I'm not playing the level 4 Eosmons, so I'm just hard playing my level 5 Eosmon onto the field, or I'm just playing them onto the field with their own effects. So I'm not digivolving my level 5 off of anything. So the alternate effects when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Digivolution cards is deleted, you may suspend the tamer if you do gain 1 memory, then hatch 1 Digi-Egg card to an empty space in your breeding area. Does not help my deck at all. Like, the only time that would help is if my level 6 Eosmon is delayed, but I'm not running this card. I'm not running this card in my deck just for helping 4 other cards that I'm running in my 50 card deck. Like, it's not great. It's really not great. So I took them out. I added more removal options. As you saw, I'm playing a bunch of removal options. Now, Schwartz Larsats, I had considered playing 4 before, but after, thinking about it, it's not great. It was good when it came out in BT7, but now it has been replaced by better board wipes like Crimson Blaze. If your opponent is going wide but small, and X Program if your opponent is going wide but then they have bigger Digimon out. So this, you also have to have a bunch of tamers in play, so it will not be seen as much until late game, which is why I'm only playing 1 copy, because you don't really play this card early game. If you're playing early game, then you would rather play Crimson Blaze, or late game, like super late game, your opponent has like a level 6 or level 7 out, then this card just becomes useless. So just 1 is good. I'm not even positive that it's even necessary. But you just have better removal options out there. Crimson Blaze board wipes level 4s and under reliably well. This board wipes level 5 and under, so it does have more targets, but you also have to have more tamers in play, which not all the time you will have, especially early game when it really matters that much. But Fly Bullet deletes level 6 and lower, so it's even more reliable than the Schwartz Larsats. And then what else? X Program board wipes almost everything, as long as they don't have X Antibody, which the last game that I played was a really bad matchup. So this is the level 4 Eosmon. I am including this level 4 in other Eosmon builds that I am currently making, but for the red build, it's not good. So you can't digivolve this off of anything. You have to unplay this. So I'm thinking about it. It's not worth running. For 4 memory to unplay, I would just go into level 5 for 5 memory. It's just much better. It can also be useful if you mill it into your trash using Gilmon, X Antibody, or using Missed Memory Boost. And then when you go into your level 6, then you can swing and then you can play a free Minoa Bellucci. But again, it's not worth it. So I'm not running this at all. I never even considered running this for my red build. I just have some extra Eosmons because some decks run 16. I'm only running 14, but like that's there. Win rate 60% I find is not necessary because I'm playing Missed Memory Boost and because I'm playing the Gilmon from EX-3. So I have 6 cards that can mill me. And like the Missed Memory Boost is guaranteed milling. The Gilmon from EX-3 is possible milling, but you don't even need to mill yourself that much. Because of how this deck works, you are most likely going to hard play your level 5 Eosmon, swing at your opponent's security the next turn, free play an Eosmon, and then eventually your Eosmons that you bring out will just die naturally on their own. Whether your opponent deletes them or they crash into security, So you don't even need milling that much. You just basically just play this deck normally, and then your trash will, of its own accord, fill up with Eosmons. So the milling is not necessary. Oh yeah, win rate 60%. So if you have a Tamer in play, you may use this option card without meeting its color requirements, which is not useful for this deck at all. But the next time one of your Digimon digivolves this turn, you may trash one Digimon card in your hand of the same color as the Digivolution of the Digivolving Digimon to reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 4. So, if you have this Eosmon in play, you have one Eosmon level 5 in your hand, or technically it doesn't have to be this. It can be level 6 in your hand. But basically, if you want to go into level 6 Eosmon and you don't want to pay the full 5, or if your trash does not have more than 2 or more Eosmons in it, you can just win rate for 2, trash Eosmon. So now you either wanted to reduce the Digivolution cost, or you want to fill one more Eosmon into your trash. But anyways, your trash now has that extra Eosmon, which may be useful for you. And then Digivolve this, reducing its cost by 4. So this just Digivolves essentially for 3, which can be useful, but not for this deck, because again, I am playing the many Matt Ashidas and the 2 missed memory boosts. So I have no problem just paying the 5 cost. So that card, the win rate 60% is not great for my deck, for this red deck, but it does have its home in other Eosmon builds. More Gaia Forces. Atomic Megalo Blaster. It does not have a home in this deck. I had considered this. I was like, I'm playing a red base, so I should use red option cards. And this was before, when I was playing white Tamers, and it did not even occur to me to use purple Matashita. But purple Matashita is so good in this deck. And you don't need Atomic Megalo Blaster. Just being able to Crimson Blaze when necessary, being able to use Fly Bullet because of the Matashitas, this does not do much for this deck. So after including the Matashitas, Atomic Megalo Blaster no longer has a home. Again, I took out the white Tamers. I don't really need the white Tamers. But just to go over what Digimon Emperor does, all turns, when one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to draw 1. So because you are playing a bunch of removal, whether it be Crimson Blaze or Fly Bullet or X Program, you can delete something most of the time. Or even when your Gilmon EX-3 is deleted and then it deletes one of your opponent's rookies, they can just draw 1. But it's not good enough for me to include in this deck. Opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon is moved from their breeding area to their battle area, gain 2 memory. So most decks in this format do not do that. Like, I'm doing it because I'm playing like a Gilmon draw engine, and it was really popular back when red-yellow hybrid was a thing, but then red-yellow hybrid got nerfed with the Zephyr. No, I forgot. Jet Sylphimon being restricted to 1. So then that really hit it badly. And then I forgot that yellow-red option card, but it also got restricted to 1. But yeah, it's no longer seeing... We no longer see opponents move and push their level 3s out. Like, maybe if I'm playing against Armor Rush, and then they just spam out VMons every turn. But Armor Rush is also decreasing in usage, so I don't really see it that much. But yeah, that is my deck profile video for Eosmon. It did surprisingly well. There's also a purple Eosmon deck that I saw around that uses Kogamon. Now, Kogamon, when you're playing a purple base, you can't really go into Eosmon, but because Kogamon is dual purple and green, you just Digivolve off of your purple rookies go into Kogamon, and then Kogamon into level 5 Eosmon, and now all of a sudden your Eosmon has retaliation. So this is pretty good if you're building a purple base. But by far, I think that red is the most useful base. The retail is good, but just because of the Gilmon line getting you massive card draw, of allowing you to use option cards like Crimson Blaze, of the Solarmon. Well, technically purple has Psychomon, but comparatively to like green, for example, just having the Solarmon, they can just stop Defexmon. It's really good. I really enjoy the red base. I think the red base is superior to green and purple currently. Now let's talk about my matchups. So I played in a 16-person tournament today. There was 4 rounds. I ended up getting 2nd place. It was honestly not the best matchup, match 4. But match 1, I played against Machinedramon. And partially I won because my opponent had no idea what Eosmon was doing. Like, I played the Eosmon, I played the Manoa Bellucci's, I explained their effects to them, but they probably did not know that Eosmon wants to keep swarming your opponent. You attack, you play another Eosmon, you attack, you play another Eosmon. So that's what Eosmon does. And then the Gilmon line, basically I have never seen anyone play Eosmon with Gilmon before. So this is my own original idea. The Gilmon line replaces the Morphomon, the Wormmon. It does their job, but better. So you can just keep swinging, keep drawing Eosmons, swing with Eosmon, play Eosmon, keep swinging, draw Eosmons, keep swinging, play Eosmons. So that's basically the idea. But then my opponent didn't know what I was doing. Probably a bunch of people didn't know what I was doing because I'm playing a rogue deck that I created. But it's actually really good. It's actually really good. But yeah, the Machinedramon matchup was really easy. They were playing Guardromon, so that was the time when I was like, I have my rookie out, but I can't swing at them because they have the Guardromon blocker. So they only have 1 Digimon in play. I have the rookie out. I can't attack because I know that if I attack, my rookie will be delayed. So I just Crimson Blaze for 5. It's still really good to get rid of blockers. So I don't really have much to say about Machinedramon. It's pretty straightforward. The time that they take to build up their trash, you just swarm them, so you just outpace them. So Machinedramon, I don't really have much to say about it. Second match was against Ragnalordmon, and there were times when I had seriously considered just hard playing Crimson Blaze for 6, even when there was no Digimon that I could delete, just because Ragnalordmon just keeps playing Digimon by effects, which ironically enough, Crimson Blaze is really good against other Eosmon decks. But Ragnalordmon, they had 7,000 DP Digimon, 11,000 DP Digimon, a bunch of Digimon out that had more than 6,000 DP. I couldn't really delete them with Crimson Blaze, but I was like, should I use Crimson Blaze and then put them to 4 memory, and then like stop them from like their of their playing by effect shenanigans? I was like thinking about it very heavily, but I didn't need to. So Ragnalordmon is kind of swarmy itself. It plays for free by effects, but just being able to outpace them, I was comfortably able to win, especially when I digivolved into Eosmon and then just getting that Gaia Force delete out of nowhere. That was good. They were not playing many tamers, so I was just relying on my own tamers, but that was good. Match 3 was SecCon. Now, SecCon was an interesting matchup, and this deck does surprisingly very, very well against it. Now, let's go over why I found my matchup against SecCon really easy. So, most Digimon decks They tend to build really high, go into their level 6s before swinging. Now, I'm not a fan of that. I really like rush type decks, swarm type decks. I've played Eosmon, I've played Armor Rush, I've played Imperial Dramon EX-3, but that's only because you can just keep rushing and swarming your opponent very easily and early on. But basically, most decks go up to level 6 or higher and then attack your opponent security. Um, but in SecCon, when you do that and then your Digimon's removed, you wasted so much effort to go to level 6, but then your Digimon's gone. So you just lost a bunch of tempo, your Digimon's gone, your opponent now has a massive memory advantage over you. They probably have a bunch of tamers out, etc. But my matchup against Sekon was actually really good because I don't play like the standard way of playing Digimon. I just Digivolve into my rookies, keep swinging at as much as possible. So I just keep decreasing their security turn after turn. I am not waiting to go up to a massive level 6 before swinging. So just getting rid of their security. Okay, cool. Security. Okay, cool. My rookie is now deleted. That did not really push me back. Also, just going into Eosmon is really good. So if you look at the Manoa Bellucci card again, you stop your opponent's tamers from unsuspending during their unsuspend phase while you have an Eosmon out. Now, SecCon decks are mostly built off of Mimi Tachikawa, the purple one that gives you one memory when you or your opponent uses as an option card, but you have to suspend her to get that one memory. Or Kari Kamiya, purple. By suspending her when one of your security cards is removed, you gain one memory, all turns. And then Kari Kamiya, yellow, memory setter. When you recover during your turn, or technically, when your security stack count increases during your turn, then you can suspend her to gain one memory. But because I was playing Manoa Bellucci, and then like I just stopped my opponent's tamers from unsuspending, it really put them in a tough spot. Like they would play Mimi Tachikawa for 2, and then only ever during the whole game get to use her effect once. Like it costs 2 to play, but then you gain 1 memory off of her, so you're still -1 in memory tempo. And then like I just kept playing Eosmons turn after turn, so my opponent never unsuspended their tamers during game 1. So it was really brutal for them. I was just playing Eosmons, and then the Eosmons play more Eosmons when they attack. So my Eosmon would attack into their security, and then on attack, play Eosmon for free. On play, suspend Manoa Bellucci, get more Eosmons to my hand. So it's just constantly refilling my hand with Eosmons, so I can just keep attacking turn after turn. But then their security would be like a Wyvern's Breath or Flame Hellscythe. One of my Eosmons is gone, but I just got a new Eosmon out of nowhere, and I can just do it again next turn. So eventually, it was a long game. But I was in a comfortable position. I just kept playing Eosmons out of nowhere. I kept pushing my rookies out, attacking. So I was putting some pressure on their security. It did not matter to me what the option cards were. I was getting rid of their security stack faster than they were able to recover. So it was a long game. They kept recovering, but I also just kept playing more Eosmons. So it was surprisingly really good. This card just shuts down security control as long as you are able to play Eosmon, because since I just suspended all their I kept their tamers suspended, they could not benefit off of their Kari Kamiyas. When a security card is removed from their stack, they could not benefit off of Mimi Tachikawa. When an option card is played, like they play their tamers for more memory than they're able to get back. So this just killed their deck. I mean, it was really brutal for them. I like, but anyways, because they aren't able to gain that memory advantage when they play option cards, and then I was memory choking them like one memory during game one, so they would be forced to play Flame Hell Scythe for 6 and not get any memory back because their other tamers are suspended. So then my Eosmon would be delayed. They would play a Magna Angimon, recover 1, but they gave me 5 memory to start my turn with. So you can just hard play Eosmon, Digivolve into level 6 Eosmon, and then the cycle just kept repeating. So there is an interesting interaction with Death Exmon that I want to go over because I did not even imagine myself. I did not even imagine this situation coming up, but it did come up. So, let me get my cards out so that I can show you what happened. So I have 2 Matashitas out, right? And then I have, let's say I have 1 Eosmon in play. The Eosmon is not really that necessary, but it's in play. So I swing at my opponent's security. And then I play another Eosmon. Let's say this Eosmon for some reason gets deleted. So this Eosmon goes to trash. I'm at 2 memory, let's say. I'm at 2. So they have a Def Exmon out. The Def X does very little against this Eosmon because it can't be digivolved because I'm not digivolving off of anything. So every time they play a Def X, every time a Def X is played, if I have Eosmon on the field, they are staying on the field. They are not being deleted. But so now I'm at 2. I would just play a random rookie. Like I can play Primal Gilmon, put them to 1 memory, no other end of turn effects, so is no other effects pending, so it's now the end of my turn. Gilmon would be deleted, but because it's still my turn, suspend the 2 Matashitas to gain 1 memory to go back to 1, and then because the Def Exmon is only once per turn, it cannot activate its end of my turn effect again, so I can just play another Eosmon, and then now they have like it's like this problem for them because now they have to get rid of my Eosmons, but if they do that, then they would be memory choked at 1, and then they would have to Flame Hell Scythe it or something, but then get rid of 1 stays on the board. I would swing, get more Eosmons, and then the cycle would continue. So there was just this point in the game when my opponent had like 6 or 7 tamers or 8 tamers, and I also had a bunch of tamers, a bunch of mats actually. There was one game where I even had like 4 mats and like 1 Manoa. But yeah, it was really late game. I was just digivolving into level 6 Eosmon and then deleting their Def X and then swinging for 2 checks or 3 checks. Like it just shuts down security control because if you stop their tamers from unsuspending, then they have to pay their options for the full cost. And security control uses really expensive options. So they give you a massive amount of memory. You don't feel bad at all playing more Eosmons. Because you know their option effects will probably only delete 1 of your Eosmons. So just being able to get more Eosmons at a faster or equal rate to the rate that they are deleting your Eosmons, but then because you have more Eosmons, you can just keep swinging turn after turn, swing with your rookies turn after turn. So that was actually surprising, how well this deck does against Sekcon, because their whole tamer lineup is just based on being able to suspend them for memory, but their tamers cannot unsuspend, so it just stops their whole deck. So they're playing expensive options. You get a bunch of memory, you play more Eosmons, you digivolve into level 6 Eosmon, delete your Eosmon on their turn, keep doing that. the Solarmon doesn't even matter. Like, they could be running Def Exmon, right? My opponent actually did run Def Exmon, but this Solarmon doesn't matter in SecCon, because if they are playing Def Exmon, then you can just, okay, cool, I have 2 Eosmons on the board, like, and a bunch of Tamers. You technically can play the Def X for free, but if you give me too much memory, I can go into level 6 Eosmon, delete the Def Exmon, and then get a bunch of security attacks in. Or, you know, if you just play for free, nothing happens because I'm not digivolved onto anything. So this is actually a positive that I'm not running level 4 Eosmon. Like, I didn't really think about this. Like, level 4 Eosmon is not only detrimental because you can give your opponent Tamers, but it's also detrimental because if you rely on it to go to your level 5, then your opponent just Def Exmons you out of nowhere. Like, your Eosmon is de-digivolved, then it's level 4, so it's going to be deleted. No, just play the level 5, and it actually works. Because I forgot. But it's like its own counter against Def Exmon. Like, you can play as much as you can. Like, technically, your opponent can lower the play cost of their Def Exmon. Even, like, you might not have the Solarmon out, so they can just play their Def X for free, or basically free. But it does nothing, because these cannot be de-digivolved. These will not be delayed by the on-play or one digivolving effect. And because you are playing so many Matashitas, and because they're giving you so much memory, they can just easily manipulate your memory. So you can just go to the end of your turn procedures with, like, by playing like a rookie. Then this is delayed because it's the lowest play cost. I believe it's play cost. And then you just suspend your mats to go back to positive memory. I think you play more Eosmons, and it does not matter that the Def Exmon is still there, because the once per turn end of my turn only happens once. So by sacrificing a rookie, going to their side, suspending my Matashitas, the rookie is deleted. I get memory to go back to my side. I can just play Eosmon and feel comfortable about it, because these Eosmons are safe. They can't be deleted with my opponent's Def Exmon's effects and end of turn effects. Because I have the Matashitas, I can just sacrifice rookies after rookies. So I just keep all my Eosmons in play while I wait to build up my level 6 Eosmons for the right time. But it actually worked. And I'm actually surprised at how well this deck does against SecCon. It stops their Tamers from unsuspending, so it just forces them to play many of their option cards for the full play cost. If they get a Tamer out of security, or if they play a Tamer from their hand, then they can only get one use out of their Tamer most of the time, because you're just playing more Eosmons. Now, game 2 was a little rougher. I actually did not get Manoa Bellucci. So, I had Eosmons, but they were able to unsuspend their Tamers, or because I got Manoa too late and I ran out of Eosmons in my hand because I wasn't able to search for more Eosmons, then they were able to just get multiple uses out of their Tamers. So game 2 was a little bit harder, honestly, but I still won. I still made it. It was really close. But Eosmon, surprisingly, is a hard counter against SecCon, which I did not know, nor did I think would be the case, but apparently it just counters SecCon so much. This particular deck, this red base Eosmon deck that uses 4 Matashitas, just basically stops Def Exmon's shenanigans. Like, you can play Solarmon. Like, the Solarmon stops Def X from coming in entirely, but even when it does come in, it's not over for you, because you can just play a rookie, 4 cost or 3 cost rookie. This is deleted. Suspend your Matashitas, so memory goes back on your side, and then you hard play Eosmon, suspend Manoa, get more Eosmons, and then your Eosmons are safe because Def X is only once per turn. So honestly, this deck counters Def Exmon, which I honestly am very surprised about, but it gives me joy. Like, you don't need the Solarmons. This deck just innately was the word I was thinking about earlier, but just innately stops Def Exmon shenanigans, especially against Secon. Stops Tamers from unsuspending your opponent's Tamers while you have Eosmon, but because they just give you so much memory in Secon, you can just keep playing more Eosmons. No lie, I honestly just hard played this 13 cost Eosmon sometimes, because I'm like, how much do I want my opponent's Tamers to not unsuspend? And then they had like 3 Mimis and like 3 purple Karis and like 2 Kari Kamiyas yellow from BT8. I was like, I don't want them to unsuspend. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm set at 3. Play this for 13. It seems like such a bad play, but just being able to stop your opponent's Secon Tamers from unsuspending, like they had like 8 Tamers out. That's like 8 memory that they could have gotten. But if you just play this for 13 and you stop them from getting that 8 memory eventually later on, it's actually a good play. Like, it seems really weird, but play this for 13, stop your opponent from getting 8 memory. Really good. Because, you know, sometimes you don't have the level 5 Eosmon in your hand, so it just feels weird. But playing this 13 cost level 6 Eosmon when you're at 3 memory, giving your opponent 10 memory to start their turn, seems like a horrible play. But it stops them from getting 8 memory. So this is almost like a 5 cost Eosmon. If they have no Digimon out, if they just put you to 3 because they deleted your Digimon or whatever, then I feel very comfortable just playing this for my hand, because what are they going to do? Build up their stack? They're playing Secon. They don't have a stack. Or what are they going to do? Delete your Eosmon? Okay, well, that gave you an extra turn to possibly find a level 5 Eosmon, especially if you have Manoa Bellucci. So when you played this the turn prior, you can possibly get more level 5 Eosmons. But honestly, not a horrible way to play during that turn, especially if your opponent has so many Tamers. You're just like, no, we're gonna play this. It's really expensive, but I'm going to stop my opponent from getting a massive amount of memory. So it's like, honestly, the best play that you can do, which sounds really weird, but it actually worked. Cool. Oh, and then my last matchup, it was brutal, honestly. Game 1, I did not draw many rookies. I drew into Solarmon in my opening hand, Digivolved Solarmon onto Gigimon, and then pushed it out turn 2 or maybe turn 3. Maybe I didn't get, but like one of the earlier turns, attacked with the Solarmon, but I don't get the draw bonus because it doesn't have Gigimon, because it doesn't have Gilmon in its name. And then I drew no more rookies for that game, so it was really brutal. And I basically lost. Like, there was no chance. And then game 2, my opponent was very easily able to build up to their level 6 insanely fast. Like, I went first, then my opponent turn 1. I went first, Digivolved a rookie onto my egg, played a Matshita, put them at 2. On their turn, Digivolved for 3 into Agumon, Digivolved for 0 into Agumon X, Digivolved for 2 into Greymon. So now they're at 0. Digivolve for 0 into Greymon X, Digivolve for 3 into some kind of Greymon. But like, they built their level 5 on their first turn. It was insanely fast. And then they went to their level 6 very, very soon too. And then, understandably, they went into War Greymon X Antibody. And that really stopped me, because this was the only removal that I had. I think maybe also Schwartz Larsats. No, I did not have Schwartz Larsats. But this was like the only removal that I had in my hand. I'm like, darn, they have X Antibody in their traits. They're playing War Greymon X. So this became useless. And then like they pushed more Digimon into play. They were just playing Agumons. But then immediately after playing Agumons, Digivolving into Agumon X Antibody. I was like, dang it, this card is still useless. I can't even delete the Agumon. And then they're pushing more Digimon out, and then also Digivolving into their X Antibody forms right away. So I could have board wiped if not for them having X Antibody. But that was a really bad matchup. And then eventually they Digivolved their level 6 into a level 7. This was before they started pushing a bunch of rookies out. But the level 7 Omnimon had X Antibody as well, so I could not delete it. And then finally, I drew into Fly Bullet, but it's a level 7, so I can't even use Fly Bullet. Like, I attempted to delete it earlier with one of my other Fly Bullets, but it's like, oh no, it has protection. So Fly Bullet's useless against the Greymon, because I had to delete it several times to actually delete it finally with my effects. But Fly Bullet was useless. Eosmon level 6 was useless against that matchup. X Program was actually useless. This did not work against that matchup at all. Like, it was really tough. But I don't think that this is a fault with my deck. I think that was just a really bad matchup. I'm running so many removal options. Crimson Blaze, useless because they were Digivolving into their big Digimon insecurity. Fly Bullet, not as useless, but because of their many protection effects, I would waste 7 memory to not delete their Digimon. X Program, useless against the X Antibody forms. Schwartz Larsats, useless because they're now level 6 and higher. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 removal options, but they're all bad against my opponent's stack. So I did pretty well for 3 of the 4 matches, but I think that the last matchup was just horrible. I did brick game 1 of match 4, but I don't think the bricking had anything to do with me losing. I think that I would have lost had I not bricked. But it was tough playing against War Greymon. I could not delay with anything. Like, technically, I'm running 8 removal options, but I'm also playing 4 of these Eosmons. So it's actually pretty sad. So go level 5 Eosmon, go into level 6 Eosmon, attempt to delete their Greymon stack. Their stack is protected, and then Digivolve into War Greymon X. Attack my security, gain a bunch of memory because of War Greymon X, and then end of attack, delete my Eosmon because it's 13,000 on their turn, and end of attack they can delete a Digimon with DP equal to or less than that Digimon. But their War Greymon was just huge, so I would use the 5 memory to Digivolve onto my level 5, go to Eosmon, attempt to delete their War Greymon. They just trashed 2 to save the War Greymon. And then, next turn, go into War Greymon X, swing up my security, just gain a bunch of memory off of their main security checks, and then delete my level 6 Eosmon. So it was really, really brutal for me. Ooh, so this was a very, very long deck profile. Honestly, the deck profile itself was not that long, but I want to talk about the many Eosmon cards that I had considered, the strategies for using this Eosmon deck. This deck is surprisingly good. Play against your SecCon friends, and then this deck will give you joy. But yeah, you can get a bunch of aggression early on with the many rookies that you run, 14 different rookies. A bunch of the card draw comes from the 11 different Gilmon in name cards that you're running. The 14 different Eosmon level 5s give you reliable access to Gilmon level 5. I think 14 works pretty well for my deck. Some decks run more Eosmon. Some decks run less Eosmon. But because of the many Gilmon draw engine cards I have, I can just easily draw into them. 14 seems like a happy number for me. 4 Eosmon level 6s. I honestly had considered taking away one of these Gilmon level 6s, taking away something like a Schwartz Larasatz. Yeah, taking away a Gilmon level, an Eosmon level 6, taking away the Schwartz Larasatz. That doesn't really come in handy that much. Then instead of playing 2 Miss Memory Boosts, play 4 Miss Memory Boosts. But after seeing this god of a Digimon card play against SecCon, 4 is very happy. 4 level 6 Eosmon makes me happy. So I'm keeping it at 4. 4 Manoa Bellucci's, you just want to find a Manoa. Sometimes it feels good to have more than one Manoa, and then you can just get more Eosmons, but not necessary. I find that one Manoa on board is all you need. Unlike the Ashidas, 4, because you do want to draw into them, so then you can play your purple options, but also because you can just play them very, very cheaply. You can play them in multiples very cheaply because they only cost 2. And then when you swing and crash, which is mostly every turn, you're going to get the 1 memory back. So it's honestly insanely good for this deck. You get to use purple options. You get a memory refund basically every time you attack into security. Sometimes you live, but if your rookie lives, then you just swing with your Eosmon, and then maybe that one's going to die. But most of the time, either your Digimon will die, will be deleted when they swing into security, or if you have more than one Digimon in play, which is usually which is basically a majority of the game, then you can swing with your other Digimon, and then hopefully that one will be deleted, and then you get the memory. But surprise tech, really good against FXmon. Crimson Blaze, one of the best board wipes of the format, just being able to board wipe things. Bloom Lordmon, Armor Rush, but I did not see Armor Rush today. Ironically enough, against other Eosmon decks, just being able to delete all of your opponent's Digimon 6000 DP or less, reduce cost by 1 for each Digimon in play, and also stopping Digimon from being played by your opponent's effects. 2 Fly Bullets, more reliable than Gaia Force. 2 X programs. Just in case you want to delete something that Fly Bullet is not able to, namely level 7s and up, but sometimes it can come in handy for the board wipe potential. This came in exactly handy for me one time today. One time. So, it's good as a splash card. I didn't play that many decks, but Crimson Blaze, Fly Bullet came in clutch so many times. X program, technically speaking, the board wipe effect came in handy for me once. Sometimes I just played this as a nerfed Gaia Force to delete one of my opponent's Digimon, so it also was good for that. I am considering replacing this with Gaia Force, honestly. The board wipe is fun, but that's mainly what Crimson Blaze is for, so you don't really need X program. But in case it does actually come in handy, and you want to board wipe 6000 DP plus Digimon that your opponent has, then this is better than Crimson Blaze. Maybe if I keep playing with this deck, I could see more usage of X Program. But I am only playing 2 copies, so maybe it's because I didn't draw into it that much, but it was not that useful enough for me today. Granted, I played 4 matches in total with this deck. Only played 2 X Programs, so I did not see them that much. 2 missed memory boosts for the milling, but also to set yourself to 5, which is very useful to hard play level 5 Eosmon and then digivolve into level 6 Eosmon, so we can just force something out of nowhere. And then Schwartz Larasants did not come up one time during today. Did not come in handy one time. But yeah, this is my red based Eosmon deck. It does surprisingly well. I'm going to quickly lay out everything so that they can see everything at the same time. Just so instead of going back and rewatching the video, you can just very clearly see my whole deck in one photo. Hopefully I have enough room. Take this out of the way. And then after this, I will honestly stop the video because it has taken up a lot of time. I enjoy making these videos. I like to go over my explanation for the decks, but you know, there has to be a limit, and if there is no limit, I will just keep talking about my deck. 4 promo Gilmons, 4 EX-3 Gilmons, 3 Gilmon X Antibody, 3 Solarmons. You can adjust the ratios of Gilmon X Antibody and Solarmon as needed. I'm keeping it right now at 3 and 3. Okay. For GGmons, this is going to be a little awkward. But just to save space, and people honestly know what this means because I have seen so many decks do this. $14 Eosmons. Okay. Honestly, it did not save that much space. It did not save space at all. Okay, as long as I just do that and then space them out, you can just tell very, very easily. Because I'm grouping them in 4 when I space them out. So, and then this is covered. So 14 Eosmon level 5s. Okay. If I have faith that this will fit, maybe this will fit all on screen. Full playset of Eosmon level 6s. There is some massive glare down there. That did not solve the glare problem. Okay, that did not solve the glare problem. Okay, 4 Manoa Bellucci's. Yeah, okay. You know what? People honestly know that I'm playing 4 Manoa Bellucci's. So even if they're not all separated, you can probably tell I'm playing 4 Manoa Bellucci's. 3 Crimson Blaze. No, I ran out of space. I did not manifest hard enough that it would fit on camera. It would fit if I got rid of the face cam, which is honestly not a bad idea. Okay. Oops. Yay, more space. Yay. Move the GGmon up. Move Eosmon level 6 up. Minoa Bellucci's. Two X programs. Two fly bullets. And then I don't know where to put these. But yay! We kind of put everything into frame. Kind of. But yeah. You can kind of see everything. 4 GGmons, 4 Promo Gilmons, 4 EX-3 Gilmons, 3 Gilmon X antibodies, 3 Solarmons, 14 level 5 Eosmons, 4 level 6 Eosmons, 4 Manoa Bellucci's. You can kind of see the 4 Metashitas, but they are being blocked a little. 2 Fly Bullets, 2 X Programs, 3 Crimson Blazes, 2 Mist Memory Boosts, and 1 Schwartz Larsats. So that is everything. So I'm going to end this video, or I will talk ad infinitum. But yeah, thank you for watching this very, very, very long video. And I will make more videos that will go over Eosmon Green, Eosmon Black, Eosmon Purple. But this is the deck that I'm mainly happy about right now. There is also an interesting video coming up where I talk about my card ideas for Eosmon. So that will be coming up in the very, very near future. And I will go over some ideas I have for designing Eosmon cards. But yeah, thank you for watching this very long video.